Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the game Diablo 4 and we're going to be reading this article here on Game Rant. It is about the WASD support that was talked about, well, it's been talked about for a while now. And if you want to read this article for yourself, I'll include the link right below in the description, and then you can just leave this video now and go read it for yourself, or you can watch my video and I'll share some thoughts with you. Okay, so it is going to be missing, and I guess this picture here is going to sums it up what we mean by the WASD support. It's being able to move with the traditional World of Warcraft movement scheme, or a lot of MMOs have that as your movement. I never really thought about Diablo ever having this mechanism in it, but I guess Diablo Immortal has this function, this mechanism that allows you to move instead of using the mouse. I've always thought of top-down games like Diablo to be mouse-driven. But then again, as you know, if you followed my channel, I have a motor skill issue with my hand, and the stuttering that I get when I talk sometimes is part of the brain injury that I sustained in a motorcycle accident. So I understand the need to be able to play video games with either hand efficiently, right? So if you do have a WASD support, that means somebody can move using their left hand. Whereas if they have no mobility to their right hand, currently they wouldn't be able to play the game all that well because you would need to run the game with the mouse. Now, I read this article. The bottom line is they want to still put it in. It's just not going to be available. And they're telling people to go with the controller support. So try to get a controller and go play the game with a controller. All right, so they it doesn't have the WASD support at launch. I'm not going to bore you. I mean, this is really it in a nutshell what I've explained already. I'm not going to bore with you the details of this article, but the lack of the WASD support started as a passionate discussion within the gaming community. Imagine those people that were for it, those people that were against it. There are those who feel strongly about the need for the WASD support due to accessibility reasons, which I just kind of explained, is some people don't have the ability to use their right or left hand. So having the ability to move around with that. Now, a controller can help, but it still requires the type of movements some may find difficult. There are also those players who simply swear that a WASD control is just an easier way to navigate. Now, again, I've never really thought with a Diablo top-down kind of game that that it just feels like that would not be the smoothest way to move around in this type of game with the WASD. But if that's all you've got and you want to work with it, that makes sense to me. Now, that's why they used the word "in the meantime" when he was doing his reporting or answering questions to reporters. He used the word "in the meantime." So they definitely want to add it as a mechanism within the game at some point. Now, I know if I scroll up here, the feature was, they did mention that the feature was in, okay, so here it is. However, it seems that the WASD support was completely omitted for Diablo 4. It's worth mentioning that Diablo 3 had no WASD support, but Diablo Immortal does have it. And that's why some people feel that it should be within the Diablo 4 realm, that people should be able to have that function available. So it's not going to be available at day one. So that's really what this video was about, was to let you guys know that if you're hoping to be able to move around with those standard MMO keys, you won't be able to. It's going to be either needing to move around with the mouse or get a controller for your PC or play on one of the other platforms that are console-based. I mean, that's the other way of doing it too, because this is going to be on the console. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.